the fishing branch came about because the background of fishermen has been a lot like hunting or shooters. You've got pistol shooters, target shooters, range shooters. You've got in fishing, you've got catch and release fishermen, you've got sports fishermen, you've got competitive fishermen, what we call the FCA guys or the meat fishermen. You've got your fly fishermen, which like to think they're the purest form. And they were too busy fighting about who was going to be the peak recreational body. And then they formed a peak recreational body, but they'd go up there and they'd go and have a submission like Robert said, and their submission end up in a round bin. And I can tell you that because I helped organise a petition on a moratorium for Marine Park for 17,500 signatures. And guess what? Duncan Gay, we'll be your friend, we'll be your friend. Round bin. This man grabbed it out of the bin and said, hey, these guys need some support here. So we launched the moratorium, stood up and said, you guys have been in power long enough now. When our Farrell got in, you promised these guys you'd do it, you haven't done it, so I'm doing it. And we wouldn't have got that without the formation of the Shooters Party and then some fishermen coming along to do it. Now, it's not a smooth trip in the fishing branch. We've got representatives from ANSA, FCA, eco fishers, and then smaller clubs such as CBs, Warringah Anglers. I think at the moment we've got about 60 guys. I've got to chase that up. We've got our meeting in the end of September. We'll do it. What it will take, it'll take some resolve from 3 or 4 of us to get around and get the message going and communicate what you need to do. The good thing about people adopting the name now, the fishermen, they're a pretty strange bunch at times. They still haven't got over to, oh, well, we're all right, we're kayak fishermen, we're friendly to the environment. Okay, that doesn't matter. They're shut out of marine parks. They think because they're on paddle power that they'll be allowed in sanctuary zones because they're not going to put fossil fuels out there. They fish catch and release. And when I told them there's 2 countries in the world that have banned catch and release fishing, they said, why would you do that? And I said, you don't see the green angle where they view it as chasing the fox with the dogs. Okay, they don't mind you catching that fish to kill it outright to eat it. That's subsistence. They don't mind that. But if you catch it for the sake of the sport and let it go, that's torment, that's cruelty. Okay, and that is the hardest thing to galvanise with a lot of these guys. So you've got your elitists that think, oh, I return every fish or I only keep 1 or 2 fish. They'll sit there and think, nobody needs 20 bream. And we've got this at the moment with a saltwater fishing review that we've got. And there's also a freshwater section, which I hope you guys make yourself familiar with by the end of this month. We are going for the allowing of bow hunting for carp. Okay, so we need people to do submissions on that. Through the network of the fishing, Robert managed to get an extension for a month because fisheries did not like to publicise these submissions well. Fishermen have never, ever been better represented, more so than since the formation of the fishing branch of the Shooters and Fishers, because now we do have political representation. It's all right to sit there and say somebody run a micro party and they'll siphon off votes and they'll drag the fishermen in, but when it just went to get a National Party member re-elected, and then his spill-off actually went in to create extra, and that's how Mr Buckingham got elected to power, with the spill-off, the Green got in, further back of the fishing party vote. And we sit there and we're trying to say, why would you want to go and support someone that's not in power? Why wouldn't you stick with the strength? The 2 Roberts are fighting day and night for us. Now, we've had a bit of and I don't mind saying it, a bit of a departure from some committee people with the fishing branch, and that'll happen with any organisation. You're going to have a difference of opinions or different of how they want to perceive the branch to be run. You've got to remember you're doing it for the majority of the people in the branch. You're not doing it for the individuals that are running the branch. Every branch is going to be different. Every branch is going to have different ideals. But the thing is, these ideals, you get a collective amount of people, they're going to put the ideas and they're going to funnel it and they're going to bring it up to the guys that get representation in Parliament. All right? You're not going to get any better strength than that. Okay, having worked with the 2 Roberts, and Robert does most of the fishing representation work for us in the party, we now know that we have some clout. Fishermen finally have some clout in New South Wales. Okay, there was a lot of recommendations put through from the party towards fisheries management, Cronulla Research Station and a few other places. We would have just got wiped the floor with. We have had a setback with the cancellation of the Game Council. It put a bit of a, how would you say, a bag over the planned Recreational Fisheries Department, which again would be a statutory body governing recreational fishermen, but that's still on the cards. We haven't given that up, and that's one of Robert's dreams, to get that up, and we're going to work hard to support it. So what can you do as a supporter of field archers and bow hunters? Well, hey, I'm also a hunter and I'm also a bow hunter. Yeah, but my expertise is fishing. I did it commercially, and I've done it competitively, and I've represented Australia overseas in fishing. You can bring the expertise that we don't have. Okay, a lot of you people are lifelong bow hunters and field archers. I can't sit there and profess to represent a game fisherman because I've only touched game fishing so much. Robert's done a bit of charter work as a business, okay? He can't sit there and say, I wouldn't know the first thing about where to pin a live bait to catch a trout dew, or, you know, like fishing. I took Robert Borzak out fishing floating baits for snapper. He's never done that before. You know, he said, I thought you fished with, you know, big sinkers out there in the deep. No, we're fishing pea-sized sinkers right on hook. What our members of the fishing branch do is bring that expertise on different areas. So we've got guys that specialise in fly fishing, we've got guys that specialise in coarse fishing, we've got guys that specialise in light tackle sports fishing and game fishing and spear fishermen. And let me tell you, people put rubbish on spear fishing. We don't. We're all fishermen, okay? Spear fishermen are the only ones that know what they're shooting at. Because I can guarantee every target they're pointing at because they're fixed by a rope, right? So they're close enough to identify. I can fish for snapper, but you'll get a bycatch. I can fish for mulloway, you'll get a bycatch. I can fish for kings, you'll get a bycatch. When you're pointing that spear, you know what you're aiming at. Now, unless something swims in front when you pull the trigger, that's about the only bycatch you're going to go, or you might go through that fish and get another one in the school. You people now have the opportunity to bring each and every aspect of expertise to a forum to get peak representation. And like I said, there's going to be 3 or 4 of you, probably 5, that are going to sit there and have to carry the weight for the next 18 months. And you're going to probably turn over a few members, but that will happen because some people will say, no, this shoe's not my fit. Some people might find they don't have the time. The second and third year, they'll get better and better. Your first 2 years are going to be your real resolve years. It's going to work out to make up, and I'm going to offer my number, and Gary knows where to contact me. I'll be there to guide you along the way if ever you need it. So don't ever lose the opportunity to get help, okay? Same as when you're working for a living. If people give you an option, you get a departmental head will come down and say, listen, do you need more resources? Never knock it back, because you very rarely get that second chance. You've got to grab this, hit the ground running and work through it, and be prepared to listen to other areas. Your view might not necessarily be the right view, but collectively you'll sort it out.